Hello, I'm Dave Speakman. Today I'm just going to look at how to read a chord box. It's quite a simple lesson, but it's something that students of mine have struggled with over the years. So I'm just going to lay it out really simply, and this is going to be the start of me starting to give some fairly basic guitar lessons. For some of you who already have lessons off me, this will be great because you'll be able to go back through the things that we've already done. A basic chord box merely outlines the first 4 frets of your guitar. It can outline frets higher up the guitar, but the basic ones that we're going to look at today, just look at the first 4 frets. So if we look at this chord box here, we can see that each one of these lines, these vertical lines, represents a string on your guitar. String 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. For every reminder of how the guitar is tuned, so is Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie. E, A, D, G, B, E. Now remember, we call this bottom string here, string 6, we call this the bottom string. If we look at this chord box like this, we could see it as it being thicker on the bottom string, and it goes thinner as we go higher up. So just looking in these first 4 frets, the chord box shows us fret 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it shows that quite simply. So if we just look at this first example here, so if there's a dot there, that means that there's no dot on the bottom string, there's no dot on string 5, there's no dot on string 4, but there is a dot on string 3, and that's at fret 1, so we're going to put a finger here. If we look at this next diagram, this gives us the chord E. So we can see, if we go the same way, there is a dot on this string, so we're going to put a finger there. There is a dot on this string, so we're going to put a finger there. At fret 2, you can see it's at fret 1, 2. And then there's another dot at fret 1, so that gives us this chord E. Cool. Let's go through some of these then. So on some of these earlier beginner chord boxes, I put numbers on the chord boxes, and the numbers are to indicate which finger we use. This is finger 1, this is finger 2, this is finger 3, and this is finger 4. Okay, so your little finger's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we look at this chord box for E, the way that I've done it here, so we're saying that finger 1 goes here, finger 2 goes here, and finger 3 goes here. Wonderful. If we look at the chord box for A, the fingers move and we've got 1, 2, 3. But notice now that there's this X, and the X is on string 6. We don't want this string in this chord. Now if we go back to the way that the guitar was tuned and we think about it, the notes were Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie, E, A, D, G, B, E. Now the chord is called A, and we want the lowest note of that chord to be the note A. That's called the root of the chord. There are some instances where we wouldn't want the root of the chord at the bottom of the chord, but for most of these basic chords, that's going to be the way that it is, certainly while you're just getting going with the guitar. So rather than strumming all of the strings, we're just going to strum from here. So I'll show you that on this camera. We're actually going to pick from here. Okay. Let's have a look at the chord D. The chord D, I think of the chord D as being shaped like a triangle. And again, There's 2 X's on this one now, so we're not going to play the bottom 2 strings, so we're actually going to just play the top 4. And again, because the root of this chord, the note that the chord's named after, is the note D, so we're starting from this D string. So again, if I show you here, we're actually just going to pick those notes. We're actually only going to pick those 4 notes, like this. Cool. So we can do a little exercise now, and I would advise before you start trying to learn some tunes with these chords, you're best off getting these chords so that they can change quickly. Practice the thing that you're not as good at. So we can take 2 chords, A and D, A and D, and just practice shifting between those 2 chords. And we can do this exercise that my mate Jack showed me years ago when we were both teaching guitar, and Jack showed me this exercise. It's a cool exercise. It's called the chord challenge. And what we do is we time ourselves for a minute, and then we practice changing between the 2 chords. And we see how many times we can get that. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we time that out for a minute. And what I get my students to do, what hopefully all of my students are doing, I'm looking at you now, is writing that down every day on a little chart. And the rules are is that the score has to increase every day. So if you haven't got a better score today than you got yesterday, then really you need to do it again until your score's increased. Once you're getting over 40 changes in a minute, you should be good to move on to some tunes. And I would say anything below 40 is a little pathetic, really. Above 60, so about 1 a second is where it wants to be really. Above 100 is really good. That's really cool. You're doing really well if you do that. So you could do that for just these 3 chords to start with. So we've got A to D, you could do D to E, and then to round that off, we'd do E to A. Excellent. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'm going to carry this on over the next few weeks. We're going to be looking at some exercises that we can do with this. Thanks for watching. I've been Dave Speakman. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in what's coming next. I've got new content coming every week. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.